Hello there, people of the internet. So I've seen this meme floating around on the internet. And I thought, you know what? I never really thought about some of these. So, basically we're going to be going over my favorite monsters. And I'm going to restrict this to one card per archetype and sub-archetype. So that's not just filled up with a bunch of the same monsters from the same archetype. So, let's begin. Let's begin with normal monster. That's going to be an obvious one for me. For those of you who know me well, it is going to be an obvious one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into my phone and figure out what the monster code is. Each card has a code on the bottom left corner, and I'm going to use that to go through the Dawn of the New Era database that I have on my computer, find that, and then drag it over to Photoshop. Like I said, for those of you who know me well, this is obvious. We have a Blueeyes, a white dragon. For one, it's nostalgia, and for two, I actually still run this deck to this day. It's still one of my favorite decks. A lot of people think it's bad. I like it. That's good by my book. So favorite XYZ monster is what I'm going to go next. I'm going to do this completely out of order, by the way. Just bear with me. Favorite XYZ monster. That's one I think is obvious for me, maybe not for other people. So Time Thief Redoer. The reason why I like this card so much, it's a good control card. I've liked the idea ever since it came out. I use it in ABCs and other decks I can make rank 4s. Sometimes. But mostly just ABCs. It's a good control card. Has good draw power. It's just good. I like it. Favorite ritual. Favorite ritual. What would be my favorite ritual card? It's gotta be that. Can't be anything else. For me, it's gotta be Relinquished. I really don't like too many ritual decks. I have a Necros deck, but I can't really point out to a card in that deck that's really my favorite. So we're gonna go with Relinquished. Plus, you know, nostalgia. See, here's where we're having a problem. Toon monsters. I'm not a big fan of Toon monsters, to be totally honest with you. In fact, I really don't like most. I'm not a Toon person. I would put Toon Blueeyes, but one card per archetype in sub-archetype. And Toon Blueeyes is technically still a Blueeyes, so we can't do that. So I went with Redeyes Toon Dragon. Reason for this, it has uses outside of Toon decks, for one, and for two, it's useful inside of its own deck. You could bring it out with Blackstone of Ancients, Redstone of Ancients, Blackstone, I don't know. Either way, Blackstone of Legend, Ancients Blueeyes. Anywho, but it can be brought out with Blackstone of Legend. It's useful outside of its own archetype. Favorite Synchro. Can't use Blueeyes, Spirit Dragon, or Azure Eyes for that matter, simply because Blueeyes White Dragon's already on here. So I'm gonna go with Burrowed Savage Dragon. I used to play Blueeyes Guard Dragon, not in tournament, but I played it before IB got banned online, and other shenanigans got banned as well. And Burrowed Savage Dragon with a key please. Plus, it's a little bit more effective than Crystal Wing. My favorite Pendulum monster is it's kind of an obvious pick for me. For me, it's Redeyes Pendulum Dragon. Now, when I re-entered the game, the first deck that I picked up was Redeyes, and I really liked how it worked. I liked the summoning mechanic. It was interesting, to me at least. I get that a lot of people don't like Pendulum. They think the Pendulum summoning mechanic is broken. I totally get that, but I like it. And the deck that I came back in the game with, oddly enough, see, here's another problem. Favorite flip monster. See, I'm not a Subterra player, so I really don't know. I'm gonna go with Ray Shadow Wendy, purely because of her usefulness in Shadow decks. And Shadow was also another deck that I came back to the game with a little bit after Redeyes. I was using Shadow Lightsworn for a while. And then, yeah. So purely because, not really nostalgia, but just because it's a deck I like. And it makes the deck function. So here's where I have to split the difference. Fusion and Union. If you know my channel, I'm an ABC player. And I'm limited to one card per archetype. And sub-archetype. I'm including Union and Driver into that mix. Since Union Driver was basically released to help Union decks, which ABC is. So, we are discounting that. So I say I'm going to pick my fusion monster first. Alright, I'm going to go with Five-Headed Dragon. The reason for this, I used to play in Blueeyes with Future Fusion. And this is after the errata. The objective wouldn't get to Five-Headed Dragon. The objective would to dump 5 dragons in the graveyard. So, it would take a turn to set up, but if you can get it set up, kind of worth. Anywho, but yeah, it used to be played in Blueeyes. Even though Future Fusion's at 3 now, I don't play this anymore. But it's here because I used to play it. It used to be acceptable in Blueeyes. Here's where we have yet another problem. Gemini. I kind of used my Redeye slot in Toon. So we can't use something like Redeyes Flare Dragon. Either way to use the archetype. We're going to go with Gemini Amber. Purely for Southern Dragon reasons. Back when Brilliant Fusion was at 3. Yeah. I don't use Gemini monsters that often in anything. If I had to pick one that wasn't Redeyes Flare Dragon, it'd be this one. So effect monsters. I think this is going to be an obvious one. Maybe it isn't, actually. I'm going with Alistair the Invoker. Now, I've always liked Invoked ever since they came out. I like the mechanic behind it. Plus, I run Invoked Magnite at the moment. And I just genuinely like the card. And it has a semi-flip effect where you can still search out Invocation just in case you have to set it. Alistair just do not die. Favorite Union Monster. Now there is an obvious one. Probably. Bee Buster Drake. Yeah, if you know the channel well, it had to come up eventually. We're choosing, and technically any of the 3 could have fit this slot. We're choosing Bee Buster Drake pretty much because it's a searcher. So what's my favorite spirit monster? I guess it would have to be the one that is most used today. Alright, we're gonna go with a Mono Iwato. I don't terribly use spirit monsters. In fact, I never even use a Mono Iwato outside of like True Draco. But it's still a good card. Plus, Shino Birds can search it out. And summon it, actually. So 2 left, and I'm actually going to exempt the rule for 1 per archetype for overall favorite. Because a lot of these are kind of my overall favorite, like Blueeyes, Savage Dragon, Alistair. So we're going to ignore it for the overall favorite, and I'll reveal that at the end. For now, let's go for Tuner. And I think this one, since I play Blueeyes, might be an obvious one. So we're going with Glow Up Bulb. It was a staple in Blueeyes until it was banned, but now we have access to Jet Synchron, sure, but Glow Up Bulb was a little bit more useful since it sent things from the deck to the graveyard, one of which could potentially have been a stone for more stuff. Finally, favorite Link Monster. So this is a tough one. It's a crapshoot between IP Masquerena and Avermax for me. You make an argument. So we're going to go with IP Masquerena. The reason for that is because, one, it goes into Avermax on my opponent's turn and makes Avermax indestructible. And the other reason it can be used for destruction plays with like nightmare cards. So that's the other reason. An overall favorite. So, like I said, we're going to ignore the 1 per archetype rule, because if we don't, then we're not going to actually put my overall favorite on here, which would make sense. And since Blueeyes White Dragon is already on here, I think the obvious one is going to be ABC Dragon Buster. If you know the channel well, you probably saw this coming. If you know me well, you probably saw this coming. I've ran the deck for far too long. And like I said, I think it was an obvious choice. And if we didn't ignore the 1 per archetype condition, we wouldn't actually put my favorite on here. And since Blueeyes Red Dragon is already on this list to begin with, I think ABC Dragon Buster is the obvious choice. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon to get notified of all my doings here on this channel. Stalk me on social media. My name's Brent, and I am Maxed Out Weird. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.